Hello, people. Welcome back to the series Perceiving and Living the New Earth. This is part 5, and my name is Marcia. In the previous episode, I talked about how to apply existence money in your own life and your living togetherness. In this episode, I go into more in depth about the truth of money, because we need to discern the old current fiat money and the transmuted money, which is freely available for all, and is an unburdening means of exchange. So she's not created in debt nor in credit. The truth is that existence money is the expression of true reciprocity. The indigenous people lived accordingly. The word money we can replace by now by the word value, because we now know, and especially when you have listened to this part, to this episode, that existence money is absolutely, totally different from money in debt and money in credit creation. We cannot skip the transition. When we leave money out of the equation in the here and now, nothing is transformed in our living togetherness, nor in the inequity and the injustice that is caused among people. And we must correct that, and we can correct that through the life impulses, which cost nothing. And we immediately can start by leaving people alone who receive welfare, and stop evicting people from their houses or cut off electricity. We can immediately and should immediately stop those kind of behaviors. People who want to get rid of money have not discharged the loads they carried themselves in their mind about money. Ask yourself, what is transmuted when we leave money out of the equation in the reality of the here and now? A question that each of us needs to be honest about is, how do I pay for my housing and food? So your first needs. And unless you are foraging in the woods or have found an isolated place on the planet that sustains you, you would say, I use money. And even when you live off grid and are totally self-sufficient, nothing is transformed in our living togetherness on earth. So when a few people have the ability to go off grid in the reality of the here and now, they can escape the systems up to a certain level, but nothing is transformed in the living togetherness. We would not have an organic living togetherness on earth again. The organic living togetherness would not be restored then. Again, we cannot skip the transition. After the transition, people have the free choice if they want to use a medium of exchange, a freely available, unburdening means of exchange, or not. Why do you want to rule this? When people, our living togetherness, choose to not use a means of exchange after the transition, so after the correction of all caused inequity and injustice among people, then money will dissolve by itself in an organic way and not because it is ruled and steered from outside. The truth is that all the money needed can be created for all humanity, but especially for all, including the suffering, children in the world. The truth is that money is already created for those who are well, the haves, on behalf of their mortgages and so-called loans, which are no loans at all. It is created money. It's only a spreadsheet, people. And with all the information I passed on in this series, we can look through the spreadsheet. And we know that it is nothing. But in the reality of the here and now, access to the things we need to be physically alive are occupied in money. And also we need to, again, correct the inequity and the injustice that is done among people. So both the haves and the not haves need to speak the truth about this. So even when you have not listened nor read anything of my work, you can see this in this world with your own eyes. And what did you do with this realization? I have made clear that we people, including the children, cost nothing. But we people, including the children, are pushed out of the equation. Society doesn't understand the dynamics that are going on. But I'm tooling the source still. So all the individuals within society need to become aware. And you must take the time to let sink in the information I share with you in this series, and let the information do her own work within you in your own time and place, because otherwise you start projecting and reacting from your old indoctrinated psyche, your indoctrinated mind. So also you need to ask yourself, do I hide myself behind my low sensitiveness, tolerance, victimization, this or that? And face yourself in the mirror. And what is in you needs to come to the surface so you can face it, by which you can transform it. Because when you do not allow yourself to face yourself in the mirror, you don't even know what is needed to transform, what is coming from the old indoctrinated mind within yourself. We have lived for so long within the indoctrinated world, the indoctrinated society. Lives after lives after lives, cycle after cycle. And it caused a lot of overlays within our own minds. So we need to face them for what they are. And only then we are able to transform. I have handed over you the on-off switch, which is the transmutation. And from the on-off switch, all will resettle, both in your mind and in the world. Another question you have to think about is if there is still a savior program working in you. Because do you want to save the children who go to bed with hunger in the future? Since 2008, the whole world could see that money is nothing and is created out of nothing, but is created only for the ones who are already well. And this is the issue. We have identified the issue and the answer. There is no black hole anymore. But when you reject the answer, you build everything from the black hole again. Meanwhile, saying and rejoicing that we live in wonderful, transformative times, and that the girls we live in have wonderful opportunities. This is a fake hallelujah mood. The answer is already here, people, and you can perceive that yourself within the reality of the here and now, in your own world. So you can't project anything onto me. Money is nothing, only numbers in a spreadsheet, and is created out of nothing. But this is only done again for the ones who are already well. Meanwhile, children go to bed with hunger. So you can be the one who speak up for the children and say out loud, create those fucking numbers for the next generation and for all humanity. But let's start with the next generation. Don't look at me, look in yourself, look in your own mind and what is laid, indoctrinated in your mind as overlays. From this indoctrinated mind you perceive the world and me, but do not look at me. So you cannot project onto me anymore because I am not here. Ask a child what is needed for a child that is suffering from hunger, and the child would answer, give that child the money it needs to buy food. Now that child is growing up and its mind will get more and more indoctrinated by the sick mind of the grown-ups in this world. And because of this, the child will not recognize its primal thought anymore and become like the grown-ups. And this grown-up child will pass on the sick mind unto its own child. These are the loops over and over again. So what do you pass on to the next generation? Are you contributing to the free existence, money, aka value of your fellow human? Do you speak up for the child? Do you stand for the free existence, money, aka value for all children and all humanity? Do you pass on the awareness that we cost nothing? Or are you still in exploration and researching mode yourself? The answer is here already. And those with eyes to see, do see it, do recognize it. And when you recognize and acknowledge the answer in yourself, you want to apply the answer. And we made the answer applicable also. You have heard that in the previous episode. So when you are truly done with this current burdening system, you feel deep joy within because the applications are here already also. Can you feel the joy within for simply being on Earth with 7 billion people? Lastly, I like to read an excerpt from an article I wrote back in 2015, I think. The title of the article is The Alchemy of Giving. The transition is all about our normal living together. It's impossible to make decisions together about what we want or do not want when only one human is pushed out of the equation. There is a discussion about a free existence about only one human. That's the true I in we. Making decisions from a height, what is allowed to exist and what not, is not from the new earth, from a natural, normal living together on earth. Only from equity and equality, including justice, we can decide together what we in crowd power let come into existence and what not. Only when nobody's free existence is discussed. The gift is in the awareness that we welcome each other in our midst, in our normal living together on earth. So, not the free existence of poor humans, and also not the free existence of rich ones, not the free existence of sick humans, and also not the free existence of healthy ones, etc. We do not cause division anymore. we perceive our lives from oneness. So first we need to say yes to the free, healthy existence of whole humanity. This all begins with existence money, to correct the reality of the now that our direct free access to life is robbed from us. From the 0 point, much will dissolve by itself or has to transform. And by itself, much will unfold what could not unfold before because of the gatekeepers. And from that point, the new paradigm, we will see together in crowd power what needs to be done. From the situation in which we are all truly equal. I will put the link of this article below in the description. Thank you for listening to this series, Perceiving and Living the New Earth. You can re-listen and re-listen again, and each time you will be able to grasp more and more of the profound meaning and workings of existence money. So when you live the new earth references, you live the new earth. And I love to welcome you on the new earth also.